Puerto Rico in 1968 grew a lot of sugar cane. And when the cane grows nice and tall and sweet, it says we're going to have a good harvest and the island will be in good financial shape.
In Puerto Rico, the condorillo hawk is a beautiful but ravenous bird with an unfortunate sweet tooth for sugarcane. As a result, authorities declared open season on the condorillo hawk for eating into the profits.
At least it looks good until those guys show up. As we can see, they show up in great numbers and can probably strip a field pretty quickly. They also don't seem to really exist. This episode of The Flying Nun is the only reference I could find to the condorillo hawk, so I have a feeling someone made up the species, especially so the Puerto Rican authorities could try to wipe it out. Right now, the biggest problem on our plate is another idiot on the ground has mistaken Sister Bertrille for something to shoot. Pardon me, but if she looks like any kind of bird, much less one of those hawks, I look like Brad Pitt. She takes refuge in a tree.
Hey, don't go out there. It's no man's land.
I think you mean no bird's land.
Oh, you poor little things. You're orphans now. Well, the least I can do is take care of you.
According to the law, the best thing she could do with them is drop them and let them break on the ground. She's not about to do that. She feels responsible to raise them. It's a moral thing for her.
What's the matter?
Hey, look!
What?
A nun. It's a nun. She flew out of that tree.
Get comfortable with Fred and Millie because we'll be seeing a lot of them. Fred insists he saw the nun and Millie doesn't believe him. He says, fine, I'll go find her and prove it to you.
Boy, I don't have to tell you the trouble we're in if we're caught here together.
Well, what'd you find?
I saw her all right.
Who?
The nun. And she was talking to two eggs.
Oh, well, why didn't you say so? I mean, you said she was flying, and we all know that's crazy, but sitting in a tree talking to eggs? Yeah, that makes sense.
Millie, don't you get the picture?
No.
A thing that looks like a nun who flies and talks to eggs. They're here. Invaders from outer space.
They chose to look like nuns who fly and talk to eggs because they want to blend in and infiltrate us undetected. Sister Bertrille has bought all the equipment she needs to incubate and hatch these eggs. What to do with them after that? Good question. Right now, she just needs a small favor from Carlos.
Carlos, you are behaving like a child. What is there about this woman that terrifies you?
I promised to marry her.
But you promised to marry all of them. That is no reason for you to hide.
I know. You know who she is? Margot Richmond, the Olympic champion. She has 2 gold medals, one for karate and the other for sharpshooting. Now, what do you say to that?
I say you have 2 excellent reasons to hide.
Carlos has his own problems, thank you. Worse, she'll be here in an hour. He doesn't have time right now for Sister Bertrille.
Ramon, Carlos, I have this little problem.
I'm sorry. Today, I'm only handling big problems.
Well, all I wanted you to do was drive me back to the convent.
And this is probably the biggest problem I've ever had. And I simply don't have the time to drive you back to the convent. The convent? Sister, how would you like me to drive you back to the convent?
How come?
How come? So he can stay there and hide from Margot. Reverend Mother is away at the moment, but Sister Jacqueline says you can ask her when she gets back. It shouldn't be long.
But the eggs of the condorillo hawk, they are immoral.
Illegal, sister. That means they have to be destroyed.
Oh, boy, we're all accidents after the facts.
Not accidents, sister. Accessory.
Whatever you call it, we could all end up in the goose house.
This one's on you.
Whose gal?
Actually, I prefer Goose House. It makes a lot more sense. They could be in bigger trouble than the Goose House if Reverend Mother doesn't approve of this, but she has other things on her mind.
Senor Ramirez tells me that you gave him permission to stay here.
I did.
You did not?
Not exactly. I gave him permission to ask your permission.
Much to Sister Bertrille's surprise, she said he can stay in the garden shed, provided he does some gardening work while he's there.
Good thinking. That ought to teach him a lesson.
Thank you. I was not trying to teach him a lesson. I was merely trying to get my rose bushes pruned.
Not all her decisions involve deep moral and spiritual matters. Sometimes she just wants to get something done. The contraband eggs are safe for now, but their presence at the convent is bothering someone.
Sister Sisto, why are you trembling?
Oh, I'm not trembling. It's the cup who is trembling.
Sister Sisto,
Yes, Reverend Mother.
something is troubling you.
Me? Reverend Mother, I can look you right in the eye and tell you positively that something is troubling me.
The illegality of the whole matter is weighing on her conscience. She spills it all to Reverend Mother.
I want a direct answer to a direct question. Are you or are you not hiding contraband eggs in your room?
Eggs?
Yes.
No.
Would you care to reconsider your answer?
Well, when you say eggs, Reverend Mother, do you mean that literally?
No, she means Kinder eggs. They're illegal in this country, too.
I beg your pardon.
They arrived a few minutes ago.
Sister Bertrille, congratulations.
Reverend Mother understands Sister Bertrille's moral dilemma, and she's fine keeping the birds here until they're big enough to transfer to a zoo or other place where they can be kept. But we still have a couple of wild cards in the game.
I do not doubt your word at all, senor, that you saw a nun. But there is no such thing as a flying nun. They move around fast enough as it is.
I'm not sure why he said that, since he's seen her fly before. Then again, there are those who question Captain Fomento's sanity. He tends to be one of them.
No, wait, Captain, you don't follow me at all. It wasn't a real nun.
Here it comes, Captain. You better sit down.
What do you mean, not a real nun?
It was an invader sent from another planet, and they're gonna take over the Earth.
He isn't buying the alien angle, but when Fred mentions blue speckled eggs, that gets the captain's attention.
Oh, these nuns have gone too far. The blue speckled eggs, this is a condorillo hawk. Oh, no, you must follow me to convent and make the identification immediately.
Before he can get to the convent, someone else just arrived. That's Margot, the woman Carlos is hiding from, and she brought a rifle with her, so Carlos is terrified.
My name is Margot Richmond, and I was told I might find Carlos Ramirez here.
Yes, he should be in the garden.
Well, this is just a little gift for Carlos, a rifle he once admired.
We'll learn that she's heading to Philadelphia to marry someone else, so Carlos is off the hook. Plus, you'd think he would know that if she planned to shoot him with that thing, it wouldn't be in a case. She'd be holding it like this and stalking him. Ahem! He dead! Kind of like that. Too bad Carlos doesn't want to stick around and listen to explanations.
Just a second. Carlos, what are you doing here? If the Reverend
She's here. The girl I told you about. I have to hide somewhere.
Well, you can't hide
They're
up
coming
here.
upstairs.
Well, why don't you tell her you've changed your mind? Maybe she'll
She
understand.
has a gun with her.
Since Carlos isn't in the garden where he should be, the next logical step is to see if Sister Bertrille knows where he is, since they're good friends.
Sister Delphina? Sister Margarita? Sister Teresa? Try Sister Carlos.
He still doesn't want to hear it. Maybe if she'd left the gun downstairs, he'd be a little less inclined to do this.
Carlos, wait! You don't understand! Carlos, I've got something for you!
I'm too young to die.
Poor Carlos. Do the doctors know what caused this? I think it's a slight case of shotgun fever.
He's gonna get out of here before she starts shooting.
Get out of my way! Get out of my way!
This sequence with the cars is too long to show, but it really is funny and well done. It ends with Fred making tracks down the road and Carlos hot on his tail. Captain Fomento?
are all under arrest!
Captain Fomento has to go home and wash his hat.
Sister Bertrille, Captain Fomento knows about the eggs.
Oh, no, that's all I need.
Do something quickly. He mustn't find the little birds.
Oh, if only they were old enough to fly.
What's the difference? You're old enough to fly.
She'll gather them into her habit and take off.
What is it? Oh, it's another one just like him. We're surrounded, Millie. Look, what difference does it make, Millie? No matter where we run, they're going to find us. We're only earthlings.
Guess what? The alien didn't want to hurt you. It was just watching what you do so it could learn how to drive.
Hi, I hate to bother you, but you keep birds here, don't you? All kinds of birds? And a condorillo hawk?
After what he just saw, she could ask him if he can take in a herd of unicorns, and he'd agree to most anything.
Take good care of them.
Please, do not ask me where they came from, because if you ask me, I will tell you. And if I tell you, then we will both have a nervous breakdown. And if that happens, who will run the zoo?
That takes care of that. There aren't any eggs at the convent for Captain Fomento to lose his Fomento over. The birds have a safe home where scientists can study them and folks can look at them. And Carlos doesn't have to have a shotgun wedding. I guess that wraps everything up, right?
Millie, look.
It's too late, Millie. They're multiplying. She hatched the eggs.
Maybe he'd better call the Pentagon next. Fred was played by veteran character actor Del Moore. We've seen him a few times before on F Troop and Batman, but his roles weren't very big. Primarily, he was a radio announcer and was well known to Los Angeles radio listeners. He died at 54 in 1970 of a cerebral hemorrhage. I get the feeling it was sudden and more than a little catastrophic. I decided to look him up because I realized his voice sounded familiar. And if Fred does call the Pentagon, he can tell them a sure way to spot the aliens. Just check their offspring. Apparently they all look alike. If you enjoyed this, please click the like button to let me and YouTube know you want to see more. If you're not subscribed yet, punch me in the mask here and get signed up so you don't miss a thing, because something is always happening here at Irving Zoo. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Authorities could try to wipe it out. Now try it with some air. Great numbers and can probably weighing on her conscience. She's I can say conscience.